Hello, everybody. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. Welcome. Here on this channel, we've got news, we've got hot takes, we've got reactions, we've got a little bit of everything, a lot of entertainment sprinkled in there. We hit on a lot of gaming news, but we also talk about anything else in the entertainment field that comes up. Today, we're going to dive right into this, and I have not seen this yet, but I have heard about it. This is a video called Starfield Modders Are Giving Up on Trash Game. Trash in quotes. This is by Clownfish Gaming. Link will be down below to the original video. Feel free to watch it yourself. Let's take a listen, and I'll give my reaction.
Clownfish Gaming. Hey guys, this is Neon. This is Clownfish Gaming News, and this is pretty funny. Remember all the controversy around Starfield when it first came out, that you had to love this game. This was going to be the best game ever.
That's true. That was the narrative that was pushed. I'm sorry to those of you who still like Starfield or who did like Starfield, but that is truth. That was pushed very, very heavily. No, you have to like this. No, you have to like this. No, you have to. It was incessant out there on the internet, okay? It really was. People have calmed down a lot about Starfield, probably because the numbers have gone. And quite honestly, people are realizing all this time after it's come out, it still is exactly what it was when it launched.
It was the second coming of Skyrim. It was the most amazing thing, and you had to love this game. You absolutely, positively had to love.
Just one thing on Skyrim. I happen to love Skyrim. If you love Skyrim, don't love Skyrim, whatever. But I will say one thing about Skyrim. I think Bethesda hit it out of the park with Skyrim, but I also think they stumbled upon something in a perfect storm that they cannot repeat. You may feel the same way about a game like Fallout 1, 2, or 3, whichever you prefer. Most people don't really have strong feelings for or against Starfield 4 or Fallout 4. And as for, Fallout 76, nobody wants to talk about that no more. But I really do think Bethesda did better work than they knew they could do on that, and had no idea how they did that better work. No plan, no way to go back and look at what they did, and no clear way to repeat it, because it has been downhill from there. Some people will say it was downhill from before. If you're an Oblivion or Morrowind fan, or early Fallout fan, I get it. I understand what you're saying, although I don't necessarily agree with you, but that's fine. Let's move on.
This game. And, it wasn't that great. I'm going to be honest. Coming right out of the gate, it wasn't a fantastic game compared to other games. Again,
it wasn't fantastic
against No Man's Sky, but, No Man's...
At the best you could legitimately say about Starfield when it came out was it was okay. Some people were very entertained by it. Some people will continue to be entertained by it. But on a whole, looking at the game, it's okay. That, I think, is fair praise for the game.
Sky has come into its own, especially in the last year or two, right? So you weren't allowed to hate on this game. Then it went from that to, okay, well, it's got some problems. It's got some problems, and modders need to fix it, right?
This here says Starfield players aren't happy they're having to wait for modders to fix the game, in case you can't see that.
And but that's okay. It's still Game of the Year, except it's not. It didn't get a nomination. It didn't even get a nomination for Game of the Year.
And it shouldn't have.
Well, now modders are jumping ship. The game is effing trash, according to one modder that created a hugely popular Skyrim co-op mod. Let's talk about this, because the modders are even jumping ship. The modders are jumping ship on this game. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more gaming content, gaming news here on Clownfish Gaming. We're just going to talk about video games, the video game industry, and all the weirdness around it, I guess.
Fair enough. If you want to subscribe to Clownfish Gaming, again, go check out the original video. Hit your subscribe button if you so desire.
Yes, and also we do gameplay videos. We're going to be ramping that up. Not going to play Starfield on the channel. I have no intention of playing Starfield. It looks like it's boring as hell. This comes from PC Gamer.
That's what it looks like.
Yesterday. Creator behind hugely popular Skyrim co-op mod gives up on the Starfield version of it because, drum roll please, this game is effing trash. I didn't realize this until after I actually started playing the damn game a week after launch. So yeah, they're talking about how this is the year of Baldur's Gate 3. Many, including myself, that would be the writer, expected the biggest and best game of the year to be Starfield. No, it didn't even get a nomination for Game of the Year. The first new series from the studio in decades, and its first single-player RPG since Skyrim.
Think about all the people that were excited for Starfield to come out, for waiting 4 years in excitement for this game. Think about that. This was expected. I mean, previous to it coming out, it was expected. It's going to be the game of the year. It's going to be the best-selling game of all time. It's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. Think about the expectations for this game. Think about how few of those expectations were actually met by the game.
Skyrim, one of the most beloved games ever made, and one that has a unique afterlife thanks to mods. Well, you can mod anything except the pronouns in Starfield. Skyrim is the most modded game in history, with Nexus mods hosting just shy of 130,000 mods across Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition.
I believe it.
Given that Starfield was widely perceived to be Skyrim in space, the expectation was that Starfield would see something similar, and indeed the game has already been the subject of over 6,000 mods.
And again, it's the expectations, right? Why were the expectations so high? I'm not really sure anymore. Now that time has gone past, I don't know. I was cautiously optimistic for this game too, but I also said I'm not really into space games, so we'll see how it goes.
And you can't take the pronouns out of Starfield. That's one thing that you cannot do, at least on Nexus mods, right? Whether it can sustain that mod-mentum, is another matter, and a recent development in the Starfield modding community throws doubt on that.
Please remember, anything you don't get upset about pronouns with Clownfish Gaming. Clownfish Gaming is reading this article by somebody else.
One of the main creators behind Skyrim Together has announced in pretty brutal language that they've thrown in the towel on Starfield Together. To briefly explain, Skyrim Together is a mod that lets you play the whole game in co-op with up to 30 players, and it's rather good.
No, it's actually, I'm sorry to the Skyrim Together creators. It's not very good because Skyrim was never meant to be a co-op game, and no matter how much you mod it, it is crashy and buggy and has issues. And I keep hoping Skyrim Together is going to get to the point where it's smooth and polished, because I'd love to try it. But I know as it is, I won't try it because I can't make a single-player Bethesda game on the engine it runs on into any sort, with any kinds of mods, into any sort of working and functional multiplayer game. Can't do it. Co-op game, whatever you want to call it. Can't do it. Just doesn't work well enough to even really bother with.
I've never used it. To give an idea of the scale of this thing, Skyrim Together Reborn, the definitive version of the mod, has over 1 million downloads, and the Skyrim Together project overall is big enough mod that other creators make mods for it.
Maybe that's true. I mean, I'm not going to doubt this person. I haven't researched how many downloads it has or whatever. I'm just saying, people I know are like, yeah, I'd love to try it, but it's so crashy and buggy, I'm not going to bother. Or people I know said, yeah, I tried it, but I uninstalled it. It just doesn't work well. And I don't think that's on this mod creator of Skyrim Together. I think that's, again, on the base game.
So hopes were high for Starfield Together. Alas, it looks like they're about to be dashed. Rob Brisnick goes by the handle Kosadeki.
Sure.
Kosadeki. I don't know. I'm not a part of the mod community. Okay, cut me some slack here. Anyway, Robbie is one of the coders that was working on Starfield Together. He took to the mod's Discord channel today to announce he was done with it in no uncertain terms. When the game released, I was hyped, like a lot of people, but probably for different reasons. I spent launch day and a few days after reverse engineering the game and porting over gameplay hooks from Skyrim Together to a potential Starfield Together mod.
Anybody find this background with it constantly moving towards you being distracting? Is it just me and my ADD? I find that really effing distracting.
I ported about 70% of Skyrim Together reverse code to Starfield Together. There's one problem. This game is effing trash. Oh my God.
Okay, what else did you say
Tell
about
us what you really think. I didn't realize this until after I actually started playing the damn game a week after launch. He said that it's boring, it's bland. He says the big draw of Bethesda's game is exploration in a lively and handcrafted world, which is completely gone from Starfield. Makes his big announcements.
I would disagree.
His big announcement, no real surprise. I won't be continuing development on Starfield together. I'm not going to put my heart and soul into a mod for a game as mediocre as this.
Ouch.
Yes. Oh my God. He says that as they've done the work, they're going to upload the code as open source in case anyone else wants to actually finish it.
Okay, so he's not the only guy banning it then. So it's all the people working on Skyrim together that are banning it. Interesting.
It's probably still upwards of 100+ hours of work. By the end of this, I was almost wincing on Starfield's behalf. The TLDR is even more of a drive-by murder. I made a start on Starfield together, but Starfield is ass, so I stopped working on it. Wow.
So, as it says, this is, of course, just one modder saying they don't like Starfield, albeit pretty definitively. And to be clear, he was part of a bigger team on Skyrim together. While he's out with a bang, there may be yet some hope for a Starfield together mod coded by somebody else. Yeah, somebody else not working on it because he's just throwing it out into open source and says, we're not doing this no more. It does feel several months after launch, the mood music around Starfield is not great. I think we would all agree that. We should all agree that. The mood music around Starfield is not great several months after its launch. People are beginning to realize maybe this isn't going to have the kind of afterlife that Skyrim did. I would agree for one real reason, okay? Here's the reason I don't think Starfield's going to have a great shelf life here and continue on for a long, long time like a game like Skyrim has or like some of the Fallout games and other things have for Bethesda. And the reason is Bethesda doesn't fix things. People know this. They've gone through all their games and they realize Bethesda does not fix games. They put out games that are buggy and they can't fix their damn bugs. And each game continues to have the bugs of the previous games because when they're making the game, they're making it in the same way, in the same engine, with the same problems, with the same... The developers have the same knowledge. It's like they haven't enhanced their knowledge any and gotten better at their craft. They're just doing the same damn thing over and over because, hey, it's sold in the past. It's not a good reason. In fact, that is a great reason to not buy a game that these guys are touching. For the love of God, people, back away from the thought of Elder Scrolls 6 being good. Back away and have a look at Bethesda as a whole and say, yeah, I guess if modders, decide to fall in love with Elder Scrolls 6, like they did Skyrim, there is a possibility a year or two after launch, it could be a really neat experience, but it's going to have the same damn bugs Skyrim did in 2011. Skyrim still has the same damn bugs 12 years later. All the bugs, all the games from Bethesda have the same bugs. Why? Why does a studio continue to do this? And more importantly, why you, the viewer and the consumer, why do you allow them to do this? Stop, people. Stop. Tell them no. Go to a different publisher. Go to a different game. Go to a different series. Enjoy the past games that you can deal with the bugs in. Ignore all the crap coming out that's going to be just as crappy as the old stuff, except it has no excuse to be. It has no excuse to be. How they can put out the same bugs in their new games should tell you everything you need to know about Bethesda Gaming Studio. It's... let me put this even simpler for you right now. It says Starfield modders are giving up on trash game. The problem isn't that Starfield is a trash game, because that is also very subjective. Different people are going to feel different ways about it, okay? Or assign different words to describe the game. Some will be good words, some will be bad words, some will be, mixture, right? We get that. Everybody's different. Everybody feels differently about it. The problem is not that Starfield came out and Starfield was a disappointment, okay? The problem is this studio continues to make the same mistakes time and time again with no objective to changing the way they do things or fixing any of their mistakes. And if you don't think Bethesda Gaming Studios laughs its way to the bank after every game that comes out, flipping the finger to the consumer, you're delusional. And I love Skyrim. And because of that, I have loved Bethesda, okay? And I have been hopeful for Elder Scrolls 6, and I am playing the shit out of Skyrim still, and I will continue to for the time being, anyways, for sure, because I'm still enjoying it, all right? Nothing wrong with enjoying games, especially ones you played a lot of. But I'm telling you right now, Bethesda is a criminally terrible effing company, okay? We all need to stay away from them because what they do is absolutely wrong. And we need to open our eyes, keep our ears open, and do a little thinking about this because not enough of us do that. Please, for the love of God, people, think about what Bethesda is, what Bethesda has done, and how they profited from it over the years, over the many, many years. And maybe some of you are too young to understand this. Talk to people like me and others who have been around and understand what Bethesda has been and the fact they are still the exact same thing. Please, for the love of everything good in gaming, let's stop rewarding gamers or rewarding gaming companies by buying their product when they do these things. Just stop, people. Just stop. Again, it's not the problem that Starfield is a trash game. It's that Bethesda Gaming Studios is a trash studio. From Miss Valley, from Miss Valley Entertainment News. I'm surprising myself. Am I here? I know who I am. My name is Dread. Sansa Fellow was Trent. And we're here to provide you with whatever entertainment you got out of this. I hope you got some. I'm just trying to pass on some knowledge and spread some entertainment and cheer. You know what? The cheer is 2024 is coming. Probably some great games coming out. And we did have some great games this last year as well. Alan Wake 2 apparently was great. Didn't play it, but it probably was. Baldur's Gate 3 obviously won a bunch of awards. There were other great games that came out. Armored Core 6. There are other games that did really well that popped up that made their studios, the water rise, the boats rise up with the water, right? We're all like, yay, they did good. Bethesda did not. Okay. Other studios, I mean, was Diablo good? Anybody? Was the new Diablo actually good, or was it the same crap the other Diablo was that you complained about back then? It's the same thing. For Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Trent. Bye bye.